Hey everybody, and welcome to my N5 series in the SP404 Mark II, where I cover a topic in about 5 minutes. This is session 15.6, and today I want to talk about a lot of numbers and what I think I'm going to try and do here for all these loops. So the first thing I want to show to you is for this drum beat, if I go into the start end menu and hit shift and then press on the value knob, you can see here that the length of it is 118,833 samples, which is cool. We can actually go in and enter whatever value we want, but we're not going to be able to do that. We're going to come to the second one, and the reason why I got the numbers written down here is that 1 bar equals 118,833 samples. If you double that, 2 bars is 237,666 samples, and 4 bars is 475,332. So for what I wanted to do, which was basically to just set the end to match 118,833, or a multiple thereof, all of these pads need to have the same length or shorter, or longer, so that we can basically set the endpoint closer to the where we need it. The problem we're going to hit, if you look here, is we're on pad 2, the second drum loop. This is, I had come in, and actually you can see I had set this to 237,666 just to try it. We were able to do that because the length is 237,695, so it was a tiny bit longer. I was pretty close, which is actually pretty amazing that I got that close to some extent. Now we're going to come to 3, and this is just a 1 bar loop. And if we hold shift down and push insert, you can see it says 117,913. We are short a fairly good amount of samples, and while I could come in and reduce the length of everything else around it, I was like, you know what, this is just going to get kind of silly. We might need that for some of the other samples, but I don't that we may be able to do this for some samples to get them all to kind of fit correctly. But instead, what I wanted to do is figure out the math here and see how this works out. So I got a calculator for sample lengths, and if we assume that we're at 44.1 kilohertz, which I think which is one number you could use, then we would be at 89 BPM. If, on the other hand, you assume that the mk2 is giving us samples in 4,800 kilohertz, then we'd be running at 96.9 BPM. So what I want to do is take just this basic drum loop, and we're going to go to pattern mode. I'm going to turn loop off for this to work. And what I'm going to do is we're just going to record here. Put strength all the way up to 100%. Let's start with 90 BPM. Just see how that sounds. Because if it's 89 or 90, it should be pretty close. I think I said 89. So I'm going to hit record. And it's over. And it sounds off. So this is what's making me think oops. I just double tapped, quadruple, whatever tapped. That sounded kind of neat, but we're going to start over here. Record here. I think that the BPM's wrong. So let's try 97. Let's try 97. Just see if the same test works. As I said, this is 1 bar, so we already have a problem. I need to come in here. We need to go pattern edit, and we need the end to be 1.4. So let's crop that. Yes. So let's see how this sounds. So it sounds like it's looping correctly. I want to drop it down to 96 BPM. I don't hear any real difference. I'm going to say 97, though, is probably the right BPM to set it, just so it's a tiny bit faster than what I expect the slower patterns to be. And we can now delete that. Now what we need to do is for all of these samples, we're going to need to come in, pitch and speed. We need to go to manual, and then we need to go set all of these manually to 97 BPM. I guess you could dial it in, but given that we played everything to each other, this should work out okay. I don't know that I'm gonna have you watch me do this for every single pad. Maybe it won't be so bad. Whoop. Maybe it won't be so bad if most of them are at 90. 97. Because then what we can do after I've got all this done is we'll be able to come in and set everything to be looping, and then we can just trigger the loops when we want them to come in and out. And then have BPM sync on. It'll keep everything. It should all sound in sync. We'll verify that in a second, though. Like more than halfway done. Just don't hear the drums anymore. Sorry. All right, we're almost there. This is where I just get super self-conscious about everything I do because I'm trying to dial everything in and play everything at the same time, which is a little tricky. 97. All right. So, fun times. So we got everything at 97. Now just to test some of these, we'll put loop on. Okay, we're going to go BPM sync all of these. And we can put BPM sync on here. Then we'll go BPM sync loop. Actually, we can't do loop on these last two because we left the reason why we can't do the looping on the last two is because we left the tails on them. So we can trigger them when we want them to, but because they have the tails on them, unless we go in and unless we go in and set the end of the bar to be the 475,332, we can't let it loop because what's going to happen is it will be BPM synced incorrectly. And I think we need to also set a mute group here. We'll do D. There we go. So we stopped everything. So I think for the next session, what I want to do is go over how to actually play this. We'll see how it kind of works, maybe mess around with some effects. But we have kind of the constructs of a song. We can maneuver our way around between different components and listen to how they sound together. We can more or less kind of move things in time, and I'll explain how that works in the next session. So hope this helps you guys out, kind of shows you some stuff for how you can go edit your BPM, kind of figure it out, and go from there. So thanks, guys. Hope you have a great day. Keep making beats. Peace.